Hi folks, Pammy here from Pammy's Peck of Pursuits. A couple of weeks ago Mark put up this lovely privacy screen for me, and now he is screening in the whole of the back deck. It's something we've wanted to do for quite a while. It'll give us a lot more outdoor space, and it will also contain the cat, because in Knox here we're not allowed to let our cats out. So this will just give him a little bit more space. It's screened in, it's safe, and we'll be able to actually let him out to a degree. So this is Mark just finishing putting up the second last panel of flywire screens along the length of the deck, and we're going to screen in the other side as well. So this is our backyard. We've got the industrial center down there with Mark's shed, and then here we have the farmyard with my greenhouse and my garden, my raised beds, and the chicken shed. And we just have one more panel to go on the screening. And then he'll be screening the door on the end, the sliding door, and that last panel on the end. And this is one of my raised beds. I have a whole bunch of volunteer tomatoes coming up, so I grabbed a few and stuck them in, and we'll see if they take. The onions are doing nicely. I've sprinkled in some eggshells for some calcium in the soil. My nasturtiums in the next raised bed, and my bigger tomatoes. The ones on the end are Rouge de Marmont tomatoes, and they are growing nicely, but we just need a little bit more warm summer sunshine for them to really take off, but they're getting there. And we've got some black cherry tomatoes next to them, some nasturtiums, and a few little seedlings. These are my Roma tomatoes. And in this bed is where all of my volunteers, and volunteer tomatoes have popped up. There are actually 4 proper tomato plants in there, so I'll be taking out most of the volunteer ones in the next few days. I've got some capsicum, some parsley, more nasturtiums. My lettuce have bolted because of the warm weather, so they'll be coming out. And just in the back there, I've got a couple of zucchini ready to take off, hopefully. These are my 2 wicking beds with the water in the bottom and stones, and then a geofabric, and then the soil, and the water actually wicks up from the bottom. You put your water in here, and it wicks up from the bottom and waters your plants. I've got a big, well, not too big a blueberry bush, a nice sized little blueberry bush in the yard as well. We've had to cover that, screen that in because of the birds. I've got a little lavender that I planted just a few days ago, and heaps of chamomile in the bottom of this lemon tree, which has been flowering for a few weeks and now has lots of little baby lemons on it. And up on the deck we've got some everlasting daisies, which are nice and crispy, and in a couple of weeks I'll cut some of those off and hang them upside down and let the stems dry, and use those in the dried flower arrangement. I've got a little jalapeno that I overwintered in a pot up on the deck, which seems to be doing the right things. It has some flowers on it. And we've got some strawberries, just a few strawberry plants over here. I've been getting a handful every couple of days. There's a little herb pot with dill, basil, and some chives in it. Some lemon thyme and regular thyme. And we have one pot of mint over on the right, and that is my little garden tour, my deck and my garden. And I hope you enjoyed that little tour.